Hello everyone, and welcome back to Chill English Channel, the place where learning English is calm, simple, and fun. I'm Sophia.
And I'm Jake. Hello to all our listeners around the world.
Maybe you are relaxing at home, maybe you are walking outside, or maybe you are practicing English while working.
Wherever you are, we're very happy you joined us today.
Today we have a thoughtful topic.
Yes, something many people are curious about.
Today we're going to talk about how successful people think.
Success is something most people want in their lives.
But success doesn't mean the same thing for everyone.
Some people think success means having a lot of money.
Others think success means having freedom or doing work they enjoy.
And for some people, success means helping others or making a positive difference.
But one thing many successful people have in common is their mindset.
Mindset means the way we think about ourselves, our work, and our future.
The way we think influences the decisions we make every day.
And our decisions slowly shape the direction of our lives.
That means our thoughts can be more powerful than we realize.
Today we will explore some ideas about how successful people think differently.
And maybe our listeners can try some of these ideas in their own lives.
Let's start with a very important mindset.
Successful people believe they can improve.
In other words, they believe they can learn new skills.
Even if something feels difficult at first.
Or even when they make mistakes.
Many people feel discouraged when they fail.
But successful people usually see failure in a different way.
They see failure as a lesson.
Instead of thinking, I failed, they ask themselves, what can I learn from this?
That small change in thinking can make a big difference.
Because mistakes stop feeling like the end of the road.
Instead, mistakes become teachers.
Let's imagine someone learning a new language.
Like English.
Yes, exactly.
Learning a new language can feel confusing.
Maybe you forget words.
Maybe you make grammar mistakes.
Or maybe you feel nervous speaking with other people.
But every mistake helps you understand the language a little better.
Over time, you start recognizing more words.
You understand more sentences.
And slowly, you feel more confident when speaking.
This is exactly how growth works in many parts of life.
Successful people understand that improvement takes time.
They don't expect to be perfect immediately.
Instead, they focus on progress.
Progress means becoming slightly better over time.
Sometimes the progress is very small.
But small improvements can create big changes in the long run.
For example, imagine improving just 1% every day.
At first, that improvement might seem invisible.
But after many days, the results become clear.
This idea teaches us something important.
Big success often begins with very small steps.
Many people wait for the perfect moment to start something.
They think they need the perfect plan.
The perfect idea.
Or the perfect time.
But perfect moments are very rare.
Sometimes they never arrive.
Successful people understand this.
So they start even when things are not perfect.
They start learning.
They start building.
They start practicing.
And they continue improving step by step.
Over time, those small steps create meaningful progress.
A few minutes of practice every day.
A new idea written in a notebook.
A problem solved in a new way.
These actions might seem small.
But together, they create momentum.
Momentum means moving forward consistently.
Even when progress feels slow.
Successful people don't rely only on motivation, because motivation comes and goes.
Instead, they create habits.
Habits make progress automatic.
For example, reading a few pages every day.
Practicing a skill for a short time every morning.
Writing down goals regularly.
Over time, these habits build knowledge and confidence makes it easier to continue growing.
Another thing successful people understand is patience.
They know that real success rarely happens overnight.
Most achievements are the result of years of steady effort.
One lesson learned at a time.
One challenge solved at a time.
One step forward every day.
And eventually, those small steps lead to big results.
That's why successful people respect the power of consistent effort.
They trust the process of gradual improvement.
Even when the results are not immediate.
Because they know progress is happening beneath the surface.
Like a seed growing underground before it becomes a plant.
That's a beautiful way to describe it.
Success often grows quietly before it becomes visible.
And the mindset behind that growth is what we are exploring today.
Another interesting way successful people think is how they deal with problems.
Yes, problems are something everyone experiences.
No one has a life without difficulties.
Not even very successful people.
In fact, many successful people face even bigger challenges.
The difference is how they think about those challenges.
Many people see problems as something negative,
Something stressful.
something they want to avoid.
But successful people often see problems as opportunities.
Opportunities to learn,
Opportunities to grow.
and sometimes even opportunities to create something new.
Let's imagine someone starting a small business.
At the beginning, many things might go wrong.
Maybe customers are slow to arrive.
Maybe the product needs improvement.
Or maybe the person makes mistakes in planning.
Many people might feel discouraged at that moment.
They might think, this is too difficult.
But someone with a successful mindset asks a different question.
Instead of saying, why is this happening to me?
They ask, what can I learn from this situation?
That question changes everything.
Because it turns the problem into a lesson.
And lessons make us stronger.
Another important way successful people think is about responsibility.
Responsibility means accepting that our choices matter.
Some people blame everything on outside situations,
They blame the weather,
the economy,
their boss.
or bad luck.
Of course, sometimes outside situations really are difficult.
But successful people still focus on what they can control.
They ask themselves, what can I do better next time?
That mindset gives them power.
Because if you believe everything is outside your control, you feel helpless.
But when you take responsibility, you can improve.
Even small improvements can change future results.
Let's think about a student studying for an exam.
If the student fails the exam, they have two ways to think.
One way is to say, the test was unfair.
Or the teacher didn't explain the material well.
Maybe those things are partly true.
But successful thinkers ask another question.
How could I prepare better next time?
Maybe they need to study earlier.
Maybe they need to ask more questions in class.
Or practice the material more often.
That way of thinking helps them grow.
Because they're focusing on improvement instead of blame.
Another interesting mindset is curiosity.
Successful people are often very curious.
They enjoy learning new things,
They ask many questions.
sometimes even simple questions.
Like, why does this work this way?
Or, is there a better way to do this?
Curiosity helps people discover new ideas.
And new ideas often lead to innovation.
Innovation means creating something new or improving something that already exists.
Many famous inventions started with curiosity,
Someone asking a simple question.
and then exploring the answer.
Another important way successful people think is about time.
Time is something everyone has,
24 hours every day.
but people use those hours differently.
Successful people often think carefully about how they spend their time,
They understand that time is limited.
which means every choice matters.
Instead of asking, how can I pass the time?
They often ask, how can I use my time well?
That doesn't mean working every minute.
Rest is important too.
Successful people understand balance,
They know energy and focus need recovery.
but they still try to avoid wasting too much time on unimportant things.
For example, spending many hours scrolling on a phone.
We've all done that sometimes.
Yes, definitely.
Successful people try to be more intentional,
Intentional means making choices on purpose.
instead of letting time disappear without noticing.
Another mindset is long-term thinking.
Many people focus only on today,
Or maybe this week.
but successful people often think about the future,
They ask questions like, where do I want to be in 5 years?
or what kind of life do I want to build?
Those questions help guide daily decisions.
Because small daily actions influence long-term results.
For example, saving a small amount of money regularly.
Or practicing a skill every day.
At first, those actions seem small.
But after many months or years, the results become significant.
That is the power of long-term thinking.
Successful people connect today's actions with tomorrow's possibilities.
And that mindset helps them stay focused even when progress feels slow.
Because they know every step is moving them closer to their goals.
And step by step, those goals slowly become reality.
Another important part of how successful people think is how they deal with fear.
Fear is something everyone experiences.
Even confident people feel fear sometimes.
That might surprise some people.
Yes, because many people imagine successful individuals as fearless.
But the truth is very different.
Successful people are not free from fear.
They simply learn how to move forward even when fear is present.
Fear often appears when we try something new.
Starting a business,
Moving to a new city.
learning a new skill.
Or speaking in front of many people.
In those moments, our mind sometimes tells us to stop,
It tells us the situation is too risky.
or that we might fail.
But successful thinkers ask themselves an important question.
What will happen if I don't try?
That question changes the way we look at fear.
Instead of only thinking about risk, they think about opportunity.
Because avoiding fear often means avoiding growth.
Growth usually lives outside our comfort zone,
Comfort zones are places where things feel safe and familiar.
but staying there forever can limit progress.
Successful people slowly expand their comfort zone.
One small challenge at a time.
They don't jump into the biggest challenge immediately.
Instead, they take manageable steps.
For example, imagine someone who is afraid of public speaking.
The idea of speaking in front of hundreds of people might feel impossible.
But they could begin with something much smaller.
Maybe speaking in front of 2 friends.
Or sharing an idea in a small meeting.
Each small experience builds confidence.
And confidence grows through practice.
Eventually, the challenge that once felt impossible becomes normal.
Another important mindset successful people develop is self-belief.
Self-belief means trusting your ability to learn and adapt,
It doesn't mean believing you are perfect.
or believing you will never make mistakes,
Instead, it means believing you can handle challenges.
even if you don't know everything yet.
Many people struggle with self-doubt.
Self-doubt is the voice in our mind that says, maybe I'm not good enough.
Or maybe I will fail.
Successful people also hear that voice sometimes.
The difference is that they don't let it control their actions.
They recognize the doubt, but continue moving forward.
Because confidence grows through action.
Not through waiting.
In other words, confidence comes from doing, not from thinking about doing.
Another powerful mindset successful people have is curiosity.
They enjoy learning new things.
They ask questions.
Sometimes very simple questions, like, why does this work this way?
Or is there a better way to do this?
Curiosity helps people discover new ideas.
And new ideas often lead to new opportunities.
Many inventions and businesses started with curiosity.
Someone simply asking a question and exploring the answer.
Successful people also think carefully about the people around them.
Because our environment influences our mindset.
If we spend time with negative people all the time, it can affect our thinking.
But if we spend time with positive and motivated people, we often feel inspired,
Encouragement can be very powerful.
especially during difficult moments.
That's why many successful people build supportive communities.
Friends, mentors, and colleagues who encourage growth.
A mentor is someone who shares experience and guidance.
Mentors can help us avoid common mistakes.
And they can remind us to keep going when things feel difficult.
Before we finish today's conversation, let's quickly review some of the ideas we discussed.
Successful people believe they can improve.
They see mistakes as lessons.
They focus on progress instead of perfection.
They look at problems as opportunities to learn.
They take responsibility for their actions.
They think about the long term.
They face fear and keep moving forward.
They stay curious and continue learning.
All of these ideas come from mindset.
The way we think influences the way we live.
And the good news is that mindset can change.
Anyone can begin thinking differently.
One small idea at a time.
One new habit at a time.
One step forward every day.
We hope this conversation gave you some interesting ideas to think about.
Maybe one of these ideas will help you in your own life,
And remember, success is a journey.
not just a destination.
Thank you so much for spending time with us today on Chill English Channel.
If you enjoyed this episode, please give it a like.
And don't forget to subscribe for more relaxed English conversations.
Before we go, we have a question for you.
Yes, we'd love to hear from you.
What is one mindset that helps you succeed?
Tell us in the comments.
We enjoy reading your thoughts and experiences.
Thank you again for listening.
See you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Take care and keep practicing your English.